pick it in first rotation, because we know Fnatic will lock it in. If Roccat doesn't first pick it, Fnatic will lock it in the very first rotation.
Well, they could also say, right then, let's leave Kassadin open here on the blue side, on the red side. So you either take Kassadin or Kog'Maw. We'll take either one of them. They've already switched one mid lane ban to a top lane ban game by getting rid of Irelia. So Peke's options become bigger, and actually Evelyn banned out here as well for Roccat. So they're really changing up the bans. That leaves so much on the table at this point. Kassadin, will they ban it here?
Fnatic won't ban it. No, they won't ban it. No reason to ban Kassadin for Fnatic, because we haven't seen Roccat played in ages, and they've just been playing pick comps for the last 2 games, and it's not been working for them. So I really think it's a mistake if Fnatic do ban Kassadin over here, to just leave it open, potentially last pick it as well on the red side. There's the ban.
So Kog'Maw gone. Let's see then if Roccat go for this then. Are they going to lock in the Kassadin?
Will they do it?
Yes, locked in the Kassadin. So we'll see if this tactic comes back to bite Fnatic.
We have to see.
In the rear end. However, it does leave open Syndra in the mid lane, which Peke played in games 1 and 2.
TF is open, Ari is open. There's multiple mid lane choices. Also why Roccat realized we're kind of banning a guy who has at least 5 champions in his champion pool. We're not really getting any result from trying to shut him down. He's been playing well on Ari. He had a good game on Syndra as well. So in that case, Roccat realized they can now actually switch it up. Kassadin, again, we saw Roccat play it back in their spring split. That's a long, long time ago, and they have really gone back to a more teamfight-focused playstyle. Really have to see what Overpow, most likely Overpow. We have seen Kassadin top lane over in Korea, so it could be Xaxus up there, but
that's true.
Really have to see what Overpow can do in this Kassadin. He's gonna have the same issue where his laning phase is not very strong. It's not like Kassadin is a terrible laner, it's just not very strong, and Syndra has just been locked in to once again with the lane.
Let's be honest, Overpow, the stats prove that he's used to losing his lane.
Yeah, he's the worst mid laner, laner in Europe.
10, 20 minutes behind, constantly in CS there. We've seen it, he's a very, very passive player. With Kassadin, you've got to get in the middle of it. You've got to put a bit of damage back to give yourself a chance in that lane. Either way, Jarvan also was picked up. Let's talk about there for Cyanide. We saw it picked in game number 1, which means that Jankos has to possibly change or possibly just stick there. He was hovering over Lee Sin for a while. Instead, they go for the tried and tested Kha'Zix, which has been a little hit and miss for him, although you say hit and miss, even in the games that they've lost, his Kha'Zix has done what he probably should have done. Okay, game 2, there was that appearance in the top lane, which ended up costing him
one mistake.
A Dragon, 1 mistake out of 3 games. Generally, it's been good for him. Nami as well, we've already seen that, has worked out for both supports that have played it. Question is, will we see Rekkles' ace in the deck, so to speak? 65 KDA with Vayne.
Yeah, pretty insane stats on it. But I was about to say, if Roccat had locked in Lee Sin on their side, they were really trying to adjust their comp to trying to help Xaxus here early game. Now they do have Jankos on Kha'Zix, and remember, he played it every single game now in the semi-final, and every time he's going into the lanes, he's getting down these towers, and Roccat will look to do the exact same here. Now they're changing things up a little bit.
Yeah. So Lulu, I'm assuming gonna be then a support Lulu with Shen in the top lane. sOAZ has openly said, I hate Shen. He's good. I mean, back in the day, you know, Shen was basically the standard for you. And that was the time I think he hated the most. And we even saw that one funky game where YellOwStaR played Shen top and sOAZ then just played support because he didn't want to deal with it. Gonna be using it here again today. Very interested to see how this works. This will be our first Shen in Europe, at least. We have seen it played in other regions recently.
Kevin played it.
Yeah, that's true. Kevin played it,
in the 5th place game, yeah. But that was, well, he played Shen. He didn't do anything, but he watched Shen in the game. And Millennium ended up losing the game, of course. But on this side here, so the reason Lulu was locked in as support is NLB Finals, SK Telecom, T1K. They played Vayne, Lulu, bot lane, 2 games in a row. They end up dying like 6-7 times in the lane, but the idea is you actually get a lane swap going with it instead, and then Lulu can start roaming around the map and join in for these early team fights and potentially even set up some ganks here. So Fnatic definitely looking for the lane swap with the Vayne pick, also with the Shen pick, because otherwise blind picking a Shen can be very risky, but because Fnatic are saying we want to go all in on deep wards at level 1, spot where where Roccat is sending their dual lane, and then we swap around it. So Shen is one of the best top laners still in a lane swap. If he's standing under the tower after he's been farming the jungle a little bit, I mean, first of all, he can gank really well due to his taunt. And at the same time, if he's standing under the tower and you want to go in and try and hit it, and he taunts you and the jungler joins in, that often means you have to either flash or you end up dying here. So Fnatic really showing they want to go for the lane swap. Locked into Lulu as well, so the Vayne was coming from Rekkles. They wanted to last pick it anyway, just to see what was going to be picked here. So split push. You have the Vayne split pushing, you have Shen split pushing now in the other lane. You have Syndra sitting in the mid lane now as the wave clears, the guy pushing down the tower. So once again, Fnatic, 1-3-1 split push. And on the side of Roccat, we kind of see the same deal. Kassadin can split push a little bit. You have Irelia doing it just a slightly weaker, in my opinion, at the split push. So we might like to see Roccat here put a lot more focus on the team fight itself, where Irelia and Kassadin, of course, are also very strong.
So the last time we actually saw Overpow play the Kassadin was week 1 of the summer split. It was a loss against Millennium. Actually, this summer split didn't start all that great for Roccat anyway. But that was the last time he actually played it. Funnily enough, while we're on to cool little stories there, Vayne for Rekkles. Obviously, against Roccat in Super Week, he did 14 kills from the game to beat the most kills in a split record. He only got 13 to actually end up tying with Manclav for that one. So very, very interesting. Got somewhat of a score to settle here on this Vayne. Let's find out how it goes, though, as we get into game number 4. Roccat versus Fnatic, with Fnatic just the 1 game away from Worlds.
And I really like the fact that we see sOAZ bringing teleport on Shen. So he has this double global now he can use. And at the same time, Overpow, of course, on Kassadin, and because Overpow loves to play teleport, does the same. It actually means if Rekkles is the guy split pushing from Fnatic, seeing as he doesn't have teleport, they're going to lose out on some global pressure here, and it actually opens up for Roccat to then have both Xaxus and Overpow going to kill him 2v1, and later on then teleport back to help the remaining members defend. From the side of Roccat here, so that's going to be an issue Rekkles has to keep in mind. And let's see here, Roccat waiting in the bush. Oh, Fnatic moving in, placing the ward.
They scanned that ward out as well. Ward. That was there for Roccat. So Fnatic got pretty strong control over that bottom side of the jungle. Roccat gonna say, you know what, have it. We'll just go to your top side. We'll try and take them away. In terms of the lanes right now, Lulu recalled. Actually, Rekkles just wanted to get a ward down in the lane, and I'm assuming that he's going to recall straight off towards that top side as well. However, Roccat are all bunched up anyway, so they could still be going anyway. But looks like that lane swap is going to happen. Kassadin's in the mid lane. Top laner and jungler will be going through the jungle together.
And notice here how YellOwStaR is the only guy who showed himself not Rekkles. He's showing himself up in this top side of the jungle, Fnatic's own jungle. So now, Roccat actually expect the dual lane from Fnatic to be in the top lane because they see YellOwStaR, the support, being there. Rekkles is actually recalling. He should delay his recall and wait to see who's actually in the top lane here from Roccat. Now Roccat is doing the same mind games, sending in Irelia first, not showing Celaver and VandeR. So now Fnatic thinks it's gonna be Xaxus top lane, but it's actually waiting the dual lane at the tower. So first we had mind games from YellOwStaR. Now it's mind games from Roccat, and it's gonna pay off because look who's actually recalling and running to the lane. The mind games.
Actually, it could go even further. If they get into the brush and just wait there.
Oh yeah, they will. Yeah,
oh, they will.
Spotted yet.
This is going to be a 3 versus 2. Oh, Jankos, this is a little bit scary for you. Knockup comes in. sOAZ is coming around as well. Oh, he's missed the taunt, and that's going to be Jankos flashing away. I'm not sure how that happened.
Whoa, no,
YellOwStaR is a little bit deep on this one. Xaxus there as well. The plan has all changed. They came out of the brush after that fight of the red buff, and now they've recalled again.
And yes, so again, remember, Fnatic, they want the lane swap. It's the reason they blind picked the Shen. It's the reason they picked the Vayne here. So now Rekkles recall after they saw the dual lane from the top side. If Jankos hadn't gone for this red buff, like Jankos was obviously feeling very confident because he had his dual lane and his top laner waiting in the top side. If he hadn't gone for the buff actually, we would have seen Rekkles and YellOwStaR run into the lane, potentially die when they tried to force Xaxus away to Celaver and VandeR waiting in the bush. Both dual lanes recalled. They're gonna meet down this bottom lane. We might even see Rekkles recall once again to go back to the top lane. But now at least he's getting some farm in his bottom lane. Celaver is only level 1, and Rekkles should be able to get his level 2 point, especially because Roccat is now sending their dual lane in to help Jankos secure his red buff here. So this might actually mean Fnatic feel confident of staying because they now have the level advantage on Rekkles.
Cyanide backing away that red buff.
And never mind, he's gonna recall.
Yeah, recall once again, but actually, funnily enough, Celaver then is going to get a full free wave here. And he's already in the lead, so losing a little bit of early farm from that one. He is going to see YellOwStaR coming in as well, so sOAZ will be the man that's sent packing once again off to a different place.
So this is very nice for sOAZ, the fact he got to push the wave out and picked up a lot of farm. But Xaxus is going to get all this farm here, and Rekkles is going to return to pretty much an empty lane. He's going to just have to get a standard wave coming in, which means he's going to get denied a lot of farm. So you got the farm on the Shen, you didn't get on Vayne, who's the key member in your comp to do well. And the reason you do these lane swaps is to make sure Vayne can get farm. Down this bottom lane, Celaver is happily farming away. And now Rekkles finally joined the top lane. YellOwStaR joining him as well. And it seems we're gonna get our 2v1s after some nice mind games. That was pretty fun.
sOAZ going down the bottom there. I don't know. You never know. Your Roccat have pushed the turret completely up. However, previous form tells you they'll say, okay, it's 2v1 now, and our style has been, over the last 3 games, over quarterfinals as well, get early turret damage down. And it looks like that's what they'll be doing here. Xaxus actually going aggressive, and why not? Jankos is here once again. Can they get their first blood? Exhaust goes onto Jankos. That will be able to push them back, but Xaxus now is finding a lot of damage coming his way. Did have flash there, didn't have to use it in the end. Fnatic decided not to chase through.
And now Roccat actually did quite some damage to the minions, so they started building up a pretty big wave because Jankos keeps last hitting it. So he now wants to try and push the wave out, but that's not going to happen with the 2 members standing there, which means Rekkles can potentially freeze the top lane if he wants to, or there could also be a teleport behind from the level 4 Irelia.
Top lane TP, YellOwStaR is in trouble here. There's the auto attacks coming in, and first blood comes down for Xaxus. And it had to be somewhat obvious that, surely.
Just remember one thing, Joe.
I can see both sides.
You can,
yeah. But
it was actually onto minions. In that case, you are correct. I was more referring to the fact that YellOwStaR at level 1 flashed into the Baron pit to try and kill Jankos. Therefore, he didn't have a flash for this time, or for the gank here. And Roccat could set it up, get the kill, even onto Xaxus. That's perfect for them. And even force Rekkles away from even more farm. So the flash level 1 from YellOwStaR end up costing Rekkles some farm and give a kill over to Xaxus.
However, YellOwStaR is back. Let's see what he can do, see if he can force Xaxus to back away. He's level 5 there as Celaver, actually doing good damage down bottom. sOAZ there trying to cause him a few problems. Meanwhile, Peke and Overpow actually getting the better of this one. He might be able to finish it off, gets an ignite to the face, and actually decides not to chase in there. Did have a decent amount of mana left. He does, however, have TP and flash rather than the ignite flash of Peke.
But it's fun to see how the lane swap now has gone back to Season 3 style, where you always had the bruisers, or the top laner sitting in the lane, and then the junglers would often come down and help them, and you had this 2v2 between the top lane and the jungler against the dual lane, and it's been like this in both lanes. We saw the fight down bottom lane, we've seen the fights up in top lane. Once again, Jankos joins in. They want more here. YellOwStaR had flash. It's gone again.
Bad times for him, realizing there that Jankos was once again returning. I think he's going to go and try and put a deep ward down in the river there because he's just bored of being attacked. Celaver and VandeR do manage to finish off that tower. One thing that is worth noting at this point, after the great start for Celaver and them keeping Rekkles a little bit away from the farm, it's actually really leveled up by now, and since Celaver has just recalled, Rekkles will actually probably overtake him here in just a couple of moments. Between other laners, 49 to 57, mid lane, Kassadin versus Syndra, you kind of expect that kind of number, I think. Top lane is also a slight lead for Xaxus.
Yeah, and remember all the farm we saw sOAZ pick up in the start. Because Xaxus and Jankos has done such a good job in the top lane, they've actually gotten a small lead. Also the kill for Xaxus. Open his top side here, the first blood even. So, at least in that case, Xaxus can be happy. He's been picking up quite a lot of farm in a lane swap. More farm than we normally see from these top laners in these lane swaps, because it's become standard. Instead, they're running around in the jungle. They get denied all the farm, but just been fighting. The junglers has been there, picking up a lot of farm. And of course, because we had all these swaps here from the dual lanes where they kept recalling against each other, switch lanes. And as soon as Celaver shows himself in top lane, Instant recall from the dual lane from Fnatic. They will respond with the dragon, so it's a good call here because there's 2 members from Roccat in top side. But they might be able to take a tower. There's teleport for sOAZ, but he's busy doing the dragon. There's nobody else helping Cyanide.
Dragon down to half HP, and Roccat, we've seen it before, they'll quite happily trade these turrets for dragons. And he's going to be going over to Fnatic, and actually the tower didn't go down. Had about a third of its health remaining, so that might in the next wave, if you look at the minimap, no one anywhere near it at this point. sOAZ might decide to TP up there, but he's got to be quick, otherwise it gets to a point where they kill it before he TPs in.
No reason.
Yeah, it's going to go down. So that'll be 2 turrets to 0 in favor of Roccat, something that's happened quite a lot already over this best of 5, that they've had a solid start when it comes to taking down towers. It's also happened quite a lot that they've had a bad start when it comes to dragons.
Very, very true. And then his bottom lane. Rekkles is 2 levels behind Xaxus on Irelia at this point. So he has to really respect him and make sure he doesn't get jumped here. They can't really deny each other. He's gonna need YellOwStaR if they want to deny Xaxus some farm. Otherwise, he's just gonna keep sitting here, picking up a lot of farm. Won't really get delayed too much. Should be able to get his Trinity Force. Also with the 2 towers down. And get through the mid-game point of Irelia where she becomes so strong. Well, sOAZ, of course, up in his top lane. Did get into the tower, did get to the tower, but only as the threat of actually taunting Celaver or VandeR under the tower. Otherwise, he can't really stop them from hitting it.
And actually, just going to try and get some vision in there as well, and force them to cancel the recall just by being there. That's how scary the Shen is. We'll see how that one all develops. It's mid lane, 88 to 69 CS. Catalyst, of course, first item for Overpow, as you would expect, and Jankos is there. xPeke does have flash though. Is Jankos going to try for it? And I'm not sure that he is. In fact, Cyanide's coming down. I think they spotted Jankos maybe.
They did, yeah, they pinged it
rush.
before.
There we go. Ulti is actually going to be used by Jankos, but well, xPeke just able to walk off, even gets the cheeky stun onto Overpow right after.
So the fact that Jankos is out of range might actually end up saving his life, because he jumped in. With all the burst from xPeke and Cyanide joining in very, very fast as well, they might have been able to just burst him down. Keep in mind, Kassadin doesn't have all the damage in the world in the early game. He needs some items going first. And generally, Kassadin is never really a champion who just jumps in your face and completely one-shots you unless he's extremely fed. He just needs like the sustained damage he can bring, and the chase potential is what really makes Kassadin so scary, and the fact he can just snowball completely out of control. And then he will start one-shotting you.
Yeah, and I mean, the chase is something that they obviously enjoyed in game number 1 at least, with the Zillion in there. And we see now the quick push up towards this mid lane for Roccat. I say that, they also looked somewhat undecided. They start coming up, they see that Fnatic back away, and they just go straight then down to the bottom. Jankos is on that side of the map as well. And it's just going to be a case of Celaver trying to get some free farm. If you look at Xaxus and sOAZ and their CS total, 71 to 56. That is still working out nicely there for Xaxus. sOAZ is caught all the way up the lane here. What is he going to be able to do? Tidal wave comes in. There is the taunt across them. Actually stepping back so he could get them in. Can he get away from it? Cyanide's presence may just be enough. Nice little save there. Nice little trick with Shen to get the taunt on all 3 of them before he backs away. Meanwhile, xPeke going in, but Rift walk away from Overpow.
So we constantly see YellOwStaR roam around because Rekkles doesn't need his help in the top lane. He's winning the one-on-one against Xaxus at the moment. Meanwhile, though, down his bottom lane, because of the engage onto sOAZ, he dropped very low. Roccat once again with Jankos, with the dual lane, full focus on getting down these towers every single time. They are going to lose the mid tower, and the top tower as well is taking a lot of damage here, so it's not paying off for Roccat at all that they keep 3 members in this bot lane. We'll keep 2 towers now. Well, soon actually. They pay off if they can go back and defend now.
Xaxus got TP.
Stop the mid lane, then they might actually end up winning out on the trade. I actually thought the towers in mid and top lane was a bit lower.
And with the fact that both top and mid lane,
there's the TP. Yeah.
They've got a couple of different options. It's Overpow. That's gonna, well, well, that was not quite as exciting as I was expecting it to maybe pan out. Overpow may jump over there. Xaxus is kind of left in the lurch. In the end, they keep their pink ward alive by just 1 health.
Alright, so allow me to correct myself from before. Roccat actually managed to defend the mid tower and top tower here, so really paid off for him to get the tower down his bottom lane. And YellOwStaR is just constantly roaming around between the lanes and joining and just hitting the tower a little bit, then he moves away again. While Roccat has been running the AD carry support and jungler together pretty much the entire time. And whenever they decide on lane, they push it in, get a tower. We'll play for now. Do have the same issue they had in the last few games though, where there are some very low towers. Fnatic can move in to the lane, get the towers, get the gold, and if they do time it correctly, get it just before Dragon fight, it can end up surprising Roccat.
Stun coming in. Overpow actually went aggressive from that, trying to return some damage onto Peke. With that Rod of Ages now, gives him a bit more survivability from a full burst combo out of Peke, who's got double Doran's Ring. Fiend's Unholy Grail. We can see that Infinity Edge was outright completed by Celaver. No Zeal this time around, so rushing straight into that first big item.
It's all the gold he's getting from the towers and the free farm he's picking up as well. And right now, Roccat would probably wish they had a ranged champion in the mid lane, because then they could have moved in Tristana, join in with the ranged champion from the mid lane, and start pushing down the mid tower with the last auto turret they have left. Syndra does have some nice wave clear, but of course Kassadin is not able to really siege up a tower, and therefore they've been forced to focus elsewhere. And also been buying a lot of time for Rekkles to actually sit and farm. All alone. The Kassadin, however, might just pay off at another stage in the game. So in that case, they're probably pretty happy sitting on Kassadin for now. But it does mean they couldn't actually take the mid tower.
Oh, bit of a back and forth. YellOwStaR taking a lot of damage there. That bubble might have been a death. And they might still be a death. Jankos stealthing up, goes in. Tidal Wave's going to knock him up. Oh, wild growth for the last second from YellOwStaR. Keeps him alive. They could be coming down for this one. Peke off to the side. Who's his target? He gets exhausted. Couldn't finish up VandeR straight away. sOAZ gets bubbled out. There's a jump in from Jankos. Can they get any more? They decide against it with Dragon up. Rekkles on the bottom side. Oh, they flash. They're going for him. Overpow on top of him. Rekkles damaging Celaver. Gets a kill. Can he actually get away? He can't. It's finished off by Jankos. That's a 3 for 2 though in favor of Roccat, and they're going Dragon.
But look here, up in the top lane, Xaxus, he didn't even join for the fight. He had teleport. He was just sitting there, pushing the lane. He's gonna get the tower. Dragon might as well also go over to Roccat. Actually, no, they decide to jump for Peke, and he's actually gonna get a kill for it.
That was all a little bit strange, but you know, kill for kill.
He managed also to stop the Dragon, so it's actually a good play here by xPeke trading back and forth. Anyway, let's see the fight. Jankos going in first, Tidal Wave coming as well from VandeR, and because YellOwStaR has been forced to run back to his own turret and he's flashed away as well, the ulti from sOAZ actually comes in, and he's not able to join the fight instantly. Sana jumps in, he dies first. The ulti from Peke was used on VandeR, the support here, and then the rest of Roccat can just clean up all the kills. Fnatic once again kind of joined in like one by one, and Xaxus was in the top lane. Rekkles couldn't join in from the start. He was running from the bottom lane. Once he joined, did pick up a kill, but also ended up dying here. And then xPeke had to sacrifice himself to stop the Dragon. And then we could see Fnatic just pick it up here. So the last death at least was worth it.
Yeah, worth.
But definitely in favor of Roccat also due to the fact he got the top tower.
And if you look down some of the scores there, Overpow 2-0-2. I always feel like when a Kassadin somehow sneaks through, it literally has no impact on a game, or it goes absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And that's maybe just the nature of these assassin type champions. So far, looking decent for Overpow. A couple of kills mopped up there, gave him a needlessly large rod. He is 60 CS behind there or thereabouts. Who's really counting? And Peke showing in that last one. I mean, he went for the support, full-on combo into VandeR, who'd already exhausted him, so he lost a lot of damage off that, couldn't actually finish off VandeR. And then you have to wonder, okay, I've just burnt my full combo on the support player, couldn't get him down, I'm not kind of useless, I have to back away.
Yeah, that was definitely not worth it. I'm not sure if this is because there's so many members like in a group and you
hard to target.
Try to target someone else and end up hitting VandeR with the ulti. But still, we have this top tower fairly low. 3 members from Fnatic up here to try and push it down. It's just a few hits and it will go down. Dragon also went over to Fnatic, but Roccat has been doing, once again, a great job getting these towers down early. It's always what they focus on. Jankos together with the dual lane, took 2 of the towers down. Celaver alone got the top tower, and of course Xaxus with the fight just before where he stayed in the top lane instead of teleporting down, just got a tower as well. So Roccat really showing they want to get down on all these early towers. Haven't been able to get the mid tower simply because they had the Kassadin against the Syndra and can't really siege up the tower.
Trying to force Fnatic out of their own jungle here as well. The blue buff is up for grabs. Rekkles on the top there. They've got vision of them thanks to that ward, which will be swept out by VandeR, just as I said. And we may come down to a position where Jankos is actually forced to smite this, despite him already having a blue buff there. xPeke and Overpow will actually get it. So they secure the blue buff for the team. You saw Rekkles just moving away from that tri-bush as well. And will likely be doing a bit of shopping for Celaver, though, who's continuing this good trend of farming. Almost got his static shiv now added in. I'm not sure how comfortable Rekkles would feel dueling that Irelia, who's got the Trinity Force now. I think that's a little bit too risky for Rekkles. We see him as a player who really doesn't die a lot. I mean, 65 KDA with Vayne tells you that you don't really die a lot. And you get, well, 13 kills against Roccat, for example.
Yeah, that
18 in the game before.
Against Copenhagen also had the pentakill. But still with Rekkles, while he's playing very safe, we do sometimes see him be too safe and too passive in the fights here. And where he won't really try and sacrifice himself to try and pick up the kills. But he's improved it actually. He's not as passive as we saw him in the start of the split. Anyway though here, Roccat once again has the issue. They can't really just push up against xPeke because he's able to clear the wave, and Tristana is the only person who can hit the tower from range. And then you kind of set up a possible stun from xPeke. But he is the only wave clear if you don't count Lulu, the support, who's not going to get AP going into the late game anyway. And therefore will only be able to slow down the waves, deal a little bit of damage to it, and then hope xPeke can actually finish the waves. If he's dead, however, if xPeke dies, the wave clear is pretty much gone from Fnatic. And that opens up for Roccat then to take down these towers. And remember, they do have double teleport, where only sOAZ on the other side has a global. Jankos actually jumping in. Cyanide was waiting for him in the bush.
Oh, a little bit dangerous finding three, but they're going to go towards Rekkles. Xaxus dives in for that one. Cyanide coming from the back, gets the knockup. Cataclysm as well. There's a kill for Rekkles. This is going to be a double kill. And just like that, Roccat dive in for the fight. End up with 3 against them. And a double goes over onto Vayne. Bad news for Roccat.
Yeah, and a big mistake here by Roccat. They saw Cyanide because Jankos jumped into the same bushes he was waiting. They saw Lulu as well once the shield was popped on Rekkles, and yet Xaxus still jumped towards Rekkles. And in the end, it was just a 3v2. There was no ulti, no teleport used by sOAZ. He's taking the bot lane tower. So now you got a double kill on Rekkles in a 3v2 scenario, which Roccat started themselves. They wanted to go for the kill. Over-aggressive. There was a big mistake. Lost the tower now and gave 2 kills to the Vayne.
Well, sOAZ is going to keep that split push Shen going on. Might as well get himself the static shiv while he's at it. Rest in pieces, Ionian Spark.
Yes.
The good old days of the split push Shen. Obviously going full tank here. Load of armor being built up, and why not? I mean, Irelia, Kha'Zix, Tristana. Of course, Kassadin might have something to say. Something to say a little bit later on in the game, but he's taking a while to get up to that point.
There is a lot of dire potential from Roccat in these team fights with Irelia jumping in, Kassadin, Jankos as well, and Kha'Zix. So the backline from Fnatic is actually only protected by YellOwStaR, unless sOAZ stays back and saves his taunt for whoever's jumping in towards his 2 carries. And xPeke is of course immobile. They can go towards him. He's probably going to need an hourglass heading into the late game. And then Rekkles is of course going to be the other option, but he's going to be stealth and jumping around. But Roccat definitely has the tools to dive the backline of Fnatic and pick up the kills.
Oh, sOAZ at the front of this one, and they are going to try and get it on towards the dragon. It goes over to Fnatic. No, sOAZ, where's he going to go? Trying to protect Peke up on the top side, but Rekkles at the back, doing a lot of damage. He's run away. Overpow going to dive in, going for YellOwStaR. He gets both the Stand United and the Wild Growth, but Cyanide dunks down, and there are the kills coming the way of Fnatic. 1 for Rekkles, 1 for Cyanide. That's a 2-0 overall, and Roccat just back away, wondering really what happened.
Yeah, Jankos was forced out of the fight, fairly early, and then the remaining 4 members from Roccat, they kept chasing. Flash ulti in from Overpow, so there's no way out. Once he's in there, he's stuck in there for now. Let's see the fight again. Tidal Wave comes in, knocks up a few members. Dragon goes over to Cyanide, and now the fight really starts. Fnatic actually splits up here, and Roccat just chasing different members. Overpow jumping towards sOAZ here, even though Rekkles and YellOwStaR were out of position down his bottom side. He chased the tank, and then he kind of overcommits in the end, jumps in. The rest of Roccat tried to follow, except for Jankos, who was already backing off because he was so low. But just way too aggressive by Overpow, and also he should never be chasing the Shen in this situation. He should have been there to jump Rekkles and jump YellOwStaR, the 2 squishy members, because they were actually in a position where he could have gotten onto them, landed the slow, and then Roccat could have chased up. Still though, fairly even in terms of gold. Then again, we're only about 25 minutes in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's actually a bit of a lead for Fnatic, and you do have 4 kills now on Vayne.
3,000 gold difference. Jankos here just tanking up the blue buff until Overpow actually got himself over there. And speaking of Overpow, he might have wanted to finish off that Zhonya's hourglass before he did that little dive there into the middle of the Fnatic team, but we'll see how that affects these next fights. Whether he's able to hold on. What we do know is that we have a Vayne who's now got that Blade of the Rune King start. He almost Ghost Blade as the second item. Picked up the Alacrity boots as well there. And then we see the gold difference over time. Actually a good period here where Roccat have had that lead between basically 5 and 22 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Having the lead. Not a massive lead, around about 2,000 at its peaks, but they've now let that one go, and that's how quickly it can happen with a few kills and a Dragon going over. Meanwhile, sOAZ here inside the enemy jungle, just to get a ward down inside of that brush, will be spotted. He's feeling probably decently strong right now if you look through his items.
And honestly, it's been 2 over-aggressive plays by Roccat here. They want to make plays up in the top lane where there were 3 members from Fnatic, 2 members anyway, like Xaxus and Jankos dive in onto Rekkles, end up giving him a double kill and losing the bot lane tower. And then the Dragon here where Overpow was chasing sOAZ, and then in the very end, still jumped into the 5 members of Fnatic and ended up dying for it. There's been some very aggressive plays by Roccat, didn't pay off. Fnatic has used it to actually punish them, get the goal lead, pushing out to this tower here. The minion wave, however, died very, very fast thanks to Xaxus.
Well, that mid lane turret goes down. We saw the bubble coming Cyanide's way. We actually have Overpow going for the split push here. He's halfway up the bottom lane, trying to get in towards Peke. They do get the slow onto him. He managed to turn around and actually stun off Celaver. So Overpow can actually keep going here, but they need to be careful about the top inner turret because Vayne and Jarvan are there. Stick your flag down, get Vayne going. He's already got enough attack speed anyway at this point of it with the Ghost Blade in there, with that Blade of the Rune King is done with the inner tower. And Overpow, well, he's got a long way to go. Even if he wants to get this split push in motion, there's no tower before the inhibitor turret, and sOAZ has teleport, so he can wait this entire time.
And now he's gone back.
They recall it out, yeah.
So Fnatic didn't really care about Overpow being split pushing there. They actually used the fact they had 5 members around both the mid lane and the top lane to just pick up 2 towers. No reaction from Roccat at all, except for Jankos trying to jump into xPeke, when we saw YellOwStaR instantly join the mid lane and make sure nothing actually happened. So 2 towers now picked up by Fnatic, basically for free. That's nothing they had to do. They didn't have to give up any tower in the bottom lane, didn't have to give up any farm. Rekkles came back and picked up the entire wave here. And this game is slowly, actually wouldn't actually say slowly because it's been within the last few minutes. It's very quickly falling completely out of Rocket's hands and into Fnatic's, and they have the goal lead. They can control the pace now. Keep split pushing with Vayne. You have Shen who can join in if needed be. And otherwise you can just start pushing down these lanes here. You have YellOwStaR and xPeke to hit the towers if Roccat is not there to defend.
Also saw a very late tier being picked up by Overpow. Only just actually picking that one up, which is not super ideal. Got 100 mana on it stacked up pretty much at this stage, so
yeah, it's gonna take a while.
Could argue that you might want to get that a little bit early, but then again, you want your Rod of Ages stacking up, and you saw in that last fight that Zhonya's got offer him some good protection when he's been that aggressive, diving straight into the middle of the enemy team.
So the tier and the fact that Overpow was sitting in the bottom lane and just kept farming instead of actually helping his team really shows to me how Roccat has now said, okay, we have lost the gold lead we had. Let's just fully look towards the late game now. So he's buying the tier, he's going to slow him down in his mid game, no death cap yet. He's going to be weaker now for the next 10-15 minutes, but then into the late game, he could potentially be stronger.
Oh, tidal wave coming towards Peke here. Fnatic trying to close in there. Overpow having to use his Zhonyas as he went over the top of the wall. This entire time, though, Shen is pushing the top lane. sOAZ going into that one. There are 2 teleports available here for Roccat. You see, Irelia finally is going to be moving back there, so sOAZ should be getting stopped on this one. And Xaxus might actually try and... No, I was going to say maybe go aggressive onto him. That doesn't happen. Meanwhile, 4 versus 4 here. Shen and Irelia keeping that TP intact. There is the first teleport coming down. It'll be Shen that joins in, gets bubbled up straight away. Not like you're going to do much damage to him when he comes through with a Spirit Visage, with a Warden's Mail, with a Sunfire. There is the Dragon. He goes over to Fnatic. Jankos stunned against the wall and finished off by Rekkles, who's now on a rampage. Who's Cyanide going to go for? He's got Cataclysm. He's got a flash as well if you really need to make the ground, but maybe with the jungler down, Baron is the next target for Fnatic.
Well, Fnatic, for now, they're actually moving towards it. Their pick is fairly low. Could be a target for Roccat here. They do have a lot of healthy members. There's not a lot of mana on VandeR. Could also just see Fnatic try and bait it, like we saw them do in game 1. Just sit around the corner here. xPeke can do his acting once again, where it looks like he's actually hitting the Baron. He's actually doing it once again, just hitting his own teammates, and he's alive. Alive because of the protection here from the rest of the team. Wild growth. Give that man an Oscar, man.
And Stan United come in. Peke, best actor world, and they're going to go straight on towards Baron. However, Overpow's still here. He's going to have to be the man that causes them the problems. Although Celaver taking chunks out of everyone. Overpow dives into the middle. Where's the Baron going? He goes to Fnatic, but the kills are going Rockat's way there. Overpow managed to take down Peke. Celaver going unchecked as Rekkles will actually have to back away. They get another one. Here comes Jankos on the side. They get sOAZ. They're going to get Cyanide as well. And Overpow keeps chasing. YellOwStaR the next target. It's an easy kill for Jankos. Double for him. And 4 men go down. Fnatic got the Baron, but they're still being chased here. Can they get onto Rekkles? I don't think they can. I don't think Overpow's going to be able to jump far enough for this. I was going to say they're really hoping they catch him there going at the same speed, but what a crazy turn of events there. 4 kills. Let's watch that one again. Let's see the acting of Peke.
So basically just seeing Peke throwing his spells into the Baron pit here. They jump in, but an instant wild growth and ulti from sOAZ to keep him alive. The rest of the members here from Overpow, they're staying around. From Overpow, from Roccat. Overpow is one of the members. Jumping in, pops the Outlast very early here and just trying to buy some time. Baron goes down, Cyanide smites it, but the members from Fnatic are very, very low. xPeke is already dead. And Celaver sitting in the back, he just hitting them over and over and over. And we keep talking about how Roccat loves to have these combo you can really chase. I mean, you have the Kha'Zix, he gets a reset. You have reset on Tristana. You have the Kassadin for chasing as well. So once they get 1 kill, get the next one. They keep chasing. 4 members go down. And then in the end, Roccat can actually be happy by picking up 4 members, getting a kill onto Overpow and getting a kill onto Celaver as well.
Let's take a look at the map first of all here before we talk about gold, because there's not a lot of turrets left up right now. In fact, outside of both bases, there's only that 1 single inner turret on the bottom lane. I'm not actually sure how much health it's got. Okay, so it's got more than half HP still remaining in that tower. Well, that's the only one outside the base, which means since we're half an hour into this one, if you lose a big fight, you're gonna lose a lot of your base, if not all of it, if it's in a bad position.
100% agree here. Again, we just saw Roccat, what they can do in an actual fight. If they do get to the backline, if they get an early kill on one of the squishy members like Rekkles, like YellOwStaR or xPeke here, they will get some research on Tristana, on the Kha'Zix, and can keep chasing you. So Fnatic always have to be careful they don't pick a wrong fight in a bad spot, because then there's no escaping. I mean, either you commit 100% to the fight, or you will end up dying in the very end anyway. because they will jump after you and chase you. And again, Fnatic actually doing a bit what they had in game 1, where they lost. Remember where sOAZ was playing YellOwStaR, they only had xPeke and Vayne as the 2 damage dealers. It's gonna be the same deal here. So it's all about taking down these 2 members from Roccat, and as we said earlier in the game, there's enough people to jump to the back line that they can get to Rekkles or xPeke if one of them makes one misplay or one mistake in their positioning. Obviously, Overpow going into late game is only going to get better and better and stronger. Once he gets the death cap as well, he gets to the point where he can get either Rekkles or xPeke in very, very low, very fast, and then someone can jump in and finish them.
And you see that Fnatic not moving an inch of this middle lane without having wards off to the side. They are, however, going to keep this split push going. They want that final turret outside of the base, and Roccat say, no, we're going to defend this one with all 5 men. We might even fight you for it if you go that aggressive.
Still remember, Xaxus is the wave play with his ulti, and then you have Celaver, but he was very afraid to move into the wave here. So Fnatic got a few hits on the tower, we'll keep doing the same. It's all about Celaver being able to wave play here, but then you have to respect the stun from xPeke. If it's on to Celaver, he might die.
Oh, a lot of damage actually done there to sOAZ. Comparative lot of damage, because obviously he's just got a lot of HP in that health bar. But Jankos is down to half. I get the feeling that they might have to back away from this one. One more stun out of xPeke will leave them a little lower than they wanted. Jankos has actually gone home. He's going to heal back up, and he's going to come back to try and help his team defend this final turret that's left up outside of the bases. There is Xaxus taking a big chunk. However, the turret doesn't go down, and the poke back is actually pretty strong. And you know what? Roccat looking to get this one. That's a lot of damage towards YellOwStaR. They knock up Cyanide. sOAZ though, he gets a ton, but it's only on the support. I'm not sure that's enough. sOAZ in trouble here as a voice pack slow him down. There is a wild growth. Cyanide is actually going to be in trouble inside of his own cataclysm, and he's going to fall as well. Oh no! sOAZ came in right at the last second, which means he died. Resets galore for Roccat. Can they get YellOwStaR? They do. Xaxus goes in. Rekkles goes down. It's a triple kill for Roccat. Peke's trying his best to run, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to manage it. They're going to go straight into the direction of the base. Peke does fall. It's an ace in the end, and Celaver really cleaning house.
And either you commit 100% to the fight, or you will just die. You cannot run away from this combo here. Roccat has sOAZ goes in, nice bomb onto Cyanide. He's not able to join at the same time, and the call from Fnatic here is we have to back. But then they realize we're not gonna be able to run away. We have to now commit. 2 members, Rekkles and Cyanide, they commit to the fight. The rest is actually moving or backing away. So Rekkles was caught in the middle of everything, and Cyanide took such a long time to go down due to ulti coming in from sOAZ that he actually ends up joining Cyanide there, end up dying because he was so low, and then you just see Roccat keep chasing. They get the ace. And that was all about Fnatic trying to take the tower down the bottom lane, tried to poke onto Roccat, and then Roccat just responded with some poke themselves and saw an opening. They saw, okay, these members, they're low here, they're a bit split up, let's go for the engage. And the bubble from VandeR onto Cyanide simply meant that Fnatic couldn't just turn in and pop both Cyanide and sOAZ to like taunt them and knock them up. And therefore, the rest of Fnatic completely split up here. Some members went in, Rekkles went in for the fight, the rest actually backed away. And in the end, if you don't commit 100%, you will end up dying.
Gold comes down to about 1,700. Fnatic still got the lead there, but a couple of items for Roccat came up after that. More Malmorty is finished for Kha'Zix, so a bit extra for him. And maybe more importantly, or definitely more importantly, I'd say, the last Whisper was added in by Celaver. We just mentioned how long it took them to take down Jarvan and Shen. That's going to make that job all the more easy. And we've got the Baron coming up in 15 seconds, which means we could have either one very long dance or one final fight, or one very long dance and then a final kill, final fight.
Well, this is the European LCS. We could see a 25-minute Baron dance here. I don't expect it because there is a lot of engaged potential especially from actually on both sides. In YellOwStaR, you're caught out of position.
Yeah, this is not exactly ideal.
Actually,
uses
Celaver's
the wide
there.
growth. Celaver is nowhere near them. We're seeing the TPs coming in. Actually, was he stand united on towards Cyanide? Can they get away from this one? Jankos will jump. Celaver is now there. xPeke going to kill off Overpow though. But there is Celaver. Gets one. Can then jump away from the Cataclysm. And look at the damage onto Cyanide as well. Now they focus towards sOAZ. He's going to get slowed down. Rekkles is trying to run away. Randuin's Omen will be used. YellOwStaR and Cyanide are useless there inside of the Baron pit. But it looks like they've done enough here to get them away. Or at least some of them will get away. Looks like YellOwStaR will just track down. And eventually will die. There we finally go. Slowed down by the Void Spikes. And this is Baron going over to Roccat. It was actually a 2-for-1 in favor of Roccat there. Yes, they lost Overpow, but they get the Baron. And that right there is going to level this game up.
And these team fights here, Fnatic is never able to 100% jump onto Roccat here. Only Cyanide and sOAZ is the ones who can like engage from Fnatic and go towards the backline, but they're both full tanks. They're not going to kill anyone. They need Rekkles or xPeke to do all the damage, but they're stuck in the backline. And if they take one step too far, if they get too close to Roccat, then they're going to be the ones where Roccat just jumps on them, kills them, and then there's no damage left for Fnatic here. So it is so hard for Fnatic to play these team fights in the late game, especially because both xPeke and Rekkles are so squishy, and there's so much damage on the side of Roccat. There's so many gap closes. Simply means it's like Cyanide sOAZ jumping in. We saw the damage from Celaver, which means the tanks will end up dying pretty fast whenever they actually go in.
Crazy match. I mean, Fnatic obviously probably didn't want to take that fight how it went down, but had to save YellOwStaR. But the danger, the scary part came when Cyanide jumps in and all of a sudden Celaver is just taking chunks out of him with each auto attack. And now we see if Fnatic can hold on. Xaxus has got a Guardian Angel on top of his Randuins and that Trinity Force. QSS on Celaver as on Rekkles as well on Vayne. Speaking of Rekkles, he's got a Phantom Dancer now. And any carries, apart from Boots, they're going to be at full build, so one more item to come in there. And we'll see what exactly the strategy is going to be for Roccat with that Baron buff running on their side. You can see the Overpow is on the bottom lane, so it looks like they're going to try and force the pressure across these two lanes.
This is pretty smart at least, get some of the waves pushing. Look up in the bot lane as well. Roccat was starting a slow push before. Didn't finish off all the minions from Fnatic, so therefore it took a while for their minions to actually kill them. Next wave joined in, building up a massive wave here. As long as they keep the pressure in this mid lane now, they can just go up to the top lane. Once the wave hits the tower, which is what they're waiting for, pick it up. Overpow can take a move up, go back to this bottom lane, and this tower up in this top lane. Remember we talked about how xPeke is the only real wave clear on the side of Fnatic here. He needs to go up to the top side, otherwise the tower will die very fast against Tristana. All about the mid lane first, however.
Celaver chunking sOAZ there. Stuns coming out of xPeke. That's the thing about Celaver now. He does so much damage. Bloodthirst in there means that a couple of auto attacks and he's back up to full health. Has the shield as well to help him out at certain occasions. Let's see about it. Minions are streaming into that bottom lane. sOAZ starts to step forward and Celaver says, nope, just jump straight away from it. The danger of the taunt. If the taunt lands on Celaver, Fnatic are going in for that fight. They're going to lose this inhibitor though.
Yeah, Celaver did actually buy a quick silver sack, so he can at least use it if he gets taunted, but then he won't have it for the stun. But he's making sure he plays it safe, and they're actually going to go down to this bottom lane. The wave up top was cleared and now pushing in favor of Fnatic. Didn't actually see who went up and cleared it. Or was xPeke who just walked up there, killed the wave. Now all about the bottom lane. Same deal. In to hit the tower. All about hitting Celaver for Fnatic. If they land a taunt, pop his QSS, then they get him next time. And Xaxus here only has armor and just a little bit of MR from his Guardian Angel. So he took a lot of damage if xPeke actually gets to him.
Oh, Jankos there was stepped towards. He needs to get rid of his Banshee's Veil first of all. Then you see sOAZ trying to get close enough to throw that Vorpal Blade at him. Needs to get rid of his Banshee's Veil. Oh, that should do it. They're going up to Celaver. Oh, he almost went down. That was the opportunity that they were looking for. And I think they're going to try and chase. No, Void Spike can't stop that. That was close to disaster for Roccat.
And that was very, very close. Heal was used, QSS was used, and the kills as well from VandeR here. If Celaver had gone down there, Fnatic was going to look for more kills. Still, not exactly easy to chase when there's all the slows coming in from Roccat as well.
And if we look at Celaver now, you'll see what my point was with the Bloodthirst, because he's full HP once again after going into the Dragon.
Save the day.
So you've got to burst in, because sustain-wise, probably going to be pretty decent. There's a nice little bubble, but they might have to still back away. sOAZ getting close. The taunt doesn't land. That means the damage is going to come back onto sOAZ. He's got the wild growth on him. Rekkles also trying to do the damage, but really risky game here. And Roccat back away again.
Again, tower went down, and then Roccat just instantly disengage. The tanks doesn't lock down Celaver in a bad position. There's no way Fnatic can kill him. And then they have to do this battle where it's about killing the front line the fastest. Except for the fact that the front line of Roccat is not just Xaxus jumping in, it's also Jankos going in, it's also Overpow with his outlaws going into your face. Making it extremely hard to take them down in time.
So, if you look down items once again, we did see the Xeraphs was finally there now for Overpow. It's taken him a long time to get that way. If we look at the gold, actually swinging back towards Roccat now, so any roller coaster, the gold in this game. We also saw a black cleaver for Jankos, Scimitar for Tristana, so a lot of items at this stage. I mean, we are 45 minutes in, over the 70k gold point for either team. And we have Baron coming up in a minute. There's the gold, so you can see the swing starting to take effect once again. Fnatic were a lot further in the lead than Roccat were, though, at their peak. And now it's kind of balancing somewhere in the middle, waiting for the next fight to decide.
Been a bit of a strange game, because again, Roccat started out so well, they had the lead. Then we had a fight in the top lane, which was 3 members from Fnatic killing the 2 members, or Xaxus and Jankos from Roccat. And then we had the dragon fight as well, and all of a sudden now Fnatic were in the lead. And then once it actually came down to the real big 5 versus 5 team fights, especially one down the bottom lane, we just saw Roccat keep chasing, get the ace, went up to Baron, did the same deal, didn't actually ace Fnatic this time around, but picked up some more kills, picked up a Baron, and all of a sudden they are now in the goal lead. Still a pretty small one, but they are in the lead. Have them looking extremely strong in these fights here, because nobody can kill Celaver. He's sitting in the back line, just hammering away on all the tanks, and once the tanks die, everyone just chase Fnatic and keeping up the kills. And now he's just standing around here.
Probably solo Baron at this point.
Let's see. Try it. Come on, Celaver.
That would be a man move if I've ever seen one in an LCS semi-final.
There's one ward here from Fnatic, which is very important to spot Roccat moving between the Baron and up here towards to try and catch Fnatic out of position.
sOAZ actually, I think, came down there for Xaxus, but Overpow was waiting on the side. He's going to go stand United, and they can't stop him. He gets away, porting onto the head of YellOwStaR. Well, that's a big ulti now down if they decide to go to Baron.
And this is a double teleport late game, which simply means Roccat can send Overpow and Xaxus to one lane and fight someone or push it, and then they can still teleport to the Baron if needed. And Rocket's actually starting the Baron here. And decides to back away.
Wisely so, I think. Although, as you said, both Irelia and Kassadin can come back.
Now. They can take this inhibitor here because it's only sOAZ to defend it. He can't stop 2 people alone. Rekkles is joining in. He doesn't have a teleport, remember? So it means inhibitor can go down. Unless Rekkles and sOAZ can kill Overpow and Xaxus here, it should be Baron for Roccat. Let's see what happens.
I'm not sure about this one. There's a wild growth coming in. Xaxus is going to go really low. He's surely going to get his GA pop. Overpow says, peace out, brother. I'm leaving you alone for this one. You're not going to be able to escape, but I'm not going to go down. In the meantime, though, Roccat using the fact that Fnatic had moved over to that bottom lane to secure Baron.
So a lot of members from Fnatic here had to go to this bottom lane. Did manage to save the inhibitor. It went down. Same goes for Baron. Roccat now can go back, wait for Celaver, so for Xaxus to respawn. And then go into this mid lane, get second inhibitor down, and might even look to just straight up dive Fnatic here. They've been looking so good in these team fights, and the double TP paying off in the end.
There's a Thorn Mail for Shen now, which means that Celaver's not going to be able to blast through him quite as quick as before. But we'll see. See how it all works out. Scimitar was also done for Rekkles, so AD carries just need to get those boots sold. Yeah, the Zephyrs in there.
Sell them damn boots.
Let's see.
All items for Overpow. Got his tier stacked, so it actually worked out for him to buy it pretty late in the game because their mid-game all of a sudden shifted into favor of Roccat and they started winning the team fights. So he didn't get punished for it. And therefore he's now with the fully stacked tier. Has a lot of mana, can jump around, stack up his ulti, and also has the shield. Which can become very, very important. And Fnatic now, the next team fight, if they don't win it, they have lost the game straight up. That was a pretty easy comment to make, seeing as the base is almost dead from Fnatic. But if anyone was confused,
that will happen.
It is, yeah. His last chance for Fnatic now.
Yeah, we're 49 minutes into this one. See that top wave being pushed by Jankos there. Still split here. 2 in bottom lane. It will be 3 in the middle lane in a second as Jankos comes down. Don't forget, Xaxus had his Guardian Angel popped in that last encounter down bottom. They're trying to get onto sOAZ again, who fell for this one once, had to use his Stan United to back away to the rest of the team. I don't think he's falling for it a second time. No, Fnatic going back to base.
They have to. I mean, YellOwStaR is pushing the top lane actually at the moment. It might even cost them the mid inhibitor because engage on the Xaxus.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Xaxus going very low. Rekkles though getting blasted from Overpow. Is that the chance that they need? Celaver took down the inhibitor there in that middle lane. So 2 inhibs down. You can see super minions are all going through. I think Roccat are going to do this one by the book. Get rid of all 3 inhibitors first.
Going here, pushing the wave. YellOwStaR was up there to actually push it, or to clear the minions, end up costing the mid inhibitor. Roccat just ran straight in and forced it. Xaxus still has his Guardian Angel. No, sorry, it was used actually before, so where he died. He doesn't have the Guardian Angel. Could be the target Fnatic want to take down, but they still have to deal with the remaining 4 members. And Celaver here, again, if he's not out of position, they won't get to him. They won't be able to kill him. So as long as he plays it safe, he'll be able to clean up.
Mega range. Someone has to go onto Shen. And that's even the thing, like, he's got to be like a flash taunt out of Shen. I mean, even the flash cataclysm from Cyanide is not doing enough there. It could be that, and they are going to go in for it. Cyanide here, going to be pressured. He goes low. Wild Growth will be using it. Rekkles is out of position. He's blown to pieces. That's surely it here for Roccat. It's a double kill coming out for Celaver. He's still at full HP. After all this has happened on the top side, Peke goes down. Overpow will use the Zhonya's. In the end, it's a triple for Celaver. They're going to punch through this one with the ace, and Roccat win game number 4. It's all down to the final game of the day.
I mean, what a game here, especially from Celaver. Late game, it was all about him. Every single team fight, he stayed alive, kept his positioning. There was one time where he was very, very close to dying. Roccat managed to disengage, returned to the base of Fnatic, and just won the next few fights. Took the game here, but what a crazy game. I mean, started the game, Roccat were ahead, and Fnatic got the goal lead because there were some mistakes from Roccat here where they gave up a lot of kills, gave up dragons as well. And then Fnatic tried to push the tower down the bottom lane, took too much poke, and then we just saw their chase potential of the Roccat comp here, and they just ran over them, got the ace, didn't even look back. I mean, ever since that ace in the bottom lane, it was just a one-way ticket.
And we were at that point where Happy Veggie is happy again, by the way. Rekkles in the position that he was in. Doesn't matter if he's got the Scimitar, he's got Mikhails from his support to help him out. Overpow was, well, we saw they just got wrecked. I think there was 1 auto attack from Celaver in there as well, which just his health bar just shrunk.
Yeah.
And he's dead. And as soon as the Vayne is out of that comp, you can just forget your chances of winning a team fight.
There's just not enough damage on the side of Fnatic in the late game. Even though there wasn't like a pure tank on the side of Roccat, they had so many members who could jump towards the back line, which meant Fnatic could never just take one target and kill him. There was always like 3 people they had to kill at once, and they just didn't have the damage to do it. The Shen pick itself ended up doing nothing at all. We didn't even see a Shen ulti, which actually resulted in some kills. It was always used very defensively, never really paid off. There was no flash taunt engages. The Shen pick itself backfired for Fnatic, didn't have any damage from it. Cyanide, of course, late game is not able to kill. And Tristana, who's just standing there, destroying him in a matter of seconds. So it's all about xPeke and Rekkles didn't have enough damage, didn't have enough people who could deal damage, and Roccat were just, everyone could just jump in and kill everyone from the side of Roccat here. The Kassadin going into late game, managed to get past the weak mid-game point and get to late game, and then it also became so strong as we, of course, remember the Kassadin.
An amazing best of 5. As we expected, it's all coming down to our 5th and final game in a little while.